The 39th Psalm, I saw her. Get out of my face, you can't. You know, she knows I'm getting her. Get out of here, you can't. She said, I can't too, come on. I said, all right, I'm going to listen right here, right now. You stand here and say it. And she said the whole song without missing a word or anything. Without hesitation. If I tried to memorize it, I'd have to stop 8 times to think, now where am I, what word am I? You say, well, I'm not as smart as a 5-year-old kid. Boy, you are really dumb, ain't you? See, I don't think you can get by with this thing. I ain't smart. You even got a husband. Look at her. Well, he ain't much, but I mean, you got it. Just look there. You figured out. I know how to talk him into it, buddy. I got him. He'll feed me the rest of my life. You're smart. You're smart. So when they cast the net, it comes up full. Now here's the lesson. When you go against Jesus, you will be a failure. When you do what Jesus is telling you to do, you'll be a success. Amen. Right. You say, I work on automobiles. He knows more about cars than you will ever know. That's right. You'll never know much about cars as he knows. You say, I work on so-and-so, so-and-so, so. I don't care what you work at. You will never know as much about it as he knows about it. And he can help you even on your job, except you think you can do everything on your own. Christians don't believe that way. You remember when Jesus was standing out on the water? He said, Peter, come out here on this water. He said, are you kidding, Lord? You kidding? Peter, I can't walk on no water. It ain't froze over. He said, that's really you out there, Lord, talking that way? Yeah, come on. Can you see him taking that foot? Now, Lord, you ain't kidding me, are you, Lord? Hey, this is working. This is working, man. I'm walking on this water. Do you really believe in him? See, now, as long as old Peter's faith stayed right there in Jesus, he's walking that water. Yes. You know what happened when his faith started failing, don't you? Well, that's another sermon. Now listen. He said, here's this one. Hey, caught anything? No. Going down on the right. Okay. He got it for him. Now old John standing there and he thinks, I know that voice. He said, Peter. Peter said, yeah. You know who that is over? No? Who? That's Jesus. And he's caught us fishing again. Don't you remember reading the Bible? How many times he would come? Hey, you guys, get out of that fishing stuff. We got a revival going on. We got to go get some people saved. You see, they always thought, well, if I follow Jesus, I'll starve to death. I'm going to have to keep this fishing up in order to make a living. And that's what Peter's thinking. Hey, we ain't going to make it if we follow this man Jesus. The Bible says old Peter jumped in. He just had his swimming trunks on. He jumped in that water and went swimming to the shore. Can you imagine him coming up out of that water? Oh, you know, Jesus sitting here by a little fire, the Bible says, sitting there, that little fire. Can you imagine when Peter walked up? He's ahead of these other boys. He knows tough times are coming, buddy. You say, Jesse, I wonder what that story's about. He's going to catch you You say, I haven't lived for the Lord the way I ought to. One night, He'll wake you up and say, have you caught anything? You're not gone. He knows where you are. I've stood in the hospital many of a time holding a little boy's hand and him looking at me crying. And he said, Brother Jesse, I know why I'm here. I know why I'm here. Now, if you don't listen to your Lord, you're fixing to get in a lot of trouble. Did you know Paul wrote in Corinthians, some people are sick because they don't do the Lord's Supper right. And some of them are dead because they don't do the Lord's Supper right. God, and you read the first epistle of John, there is a sin unto death. And I tell you, John, not to pray for it. You say he's talking to sinners. No, he's talking to people who are believers. And if you don't think you can commit suicide by the way you act toward God, you're kidding yourself. There's people sick tonight because of the way they acted toward God. There's people in the graveyard tonight that could have been alive if they had acted right and tried to live for God. Oh, you say, Jesse, you can read the Bible. I'm not trying to trick you. See, you can believe it or not believe it. I'm 82, working on 83. Never been in the hospital in my life. Missed one Sunday night preaching in 67 years because I had a little throat problem. You say, Jesse, you sure have done good, ain't you? No, I know somebody that can make you do good if he wants to. He can make you do good. He's the best doctor I ever had. Ain't no disease or nothing he can't take care of. Amen. I tell you when my time will come, when I stand up here thrashing y'all to death and I preach my last sermon. He said, now you can come home, Jesse. So old Peter walks up to Jesus, sitting there by that little fire. I can imagine Jesus looking up at him. That's his heart. Peter's one of my favorite preachers in the Bible. I just love him. And I think Jesus loved him too. Jesus looked up at him. I'm counting on you, Peter. You led 6 preachers off, and y'all are gone and leave me. I went and died on the cross, was buried, rose again, so that we could get some people saved in this world. And you preachers have walked off and left me and gone back fishing. If you walk off and leave me, what am I going to do? Yeah. You say, Jesse, I'm not responsible. I think you are. Right. I think you are. Because if me and you don't do it, there ain't no plan B. There ain't nobody, there ain't going to be no angels preaching this gospel. They don't know what it's like to be saved. They ain't never been born again. The angels ain't, they're created beings. They ain't like me and you. We're the only ones who knows what it's really like to be born again and have your sins forgiven. We're the only one. Nobody else knows it. And if we don't tell it, there ain't nobody else can tell it. You can talk to a sinner until you fall over, you go on your face. He don't know what you're talking about. You can try to explain it. It's like a woman trying to explain to me what it's like to be pregnant. And have a baby. She says, well, it's like this. Oh, yeah, I understand, honey. Thank you, Lord. You think, no, you don't know what you're talking about. Yes, that's right. I don't know what you're talking about. You have to experience it. And you don't know what it means to be saved until you experience it. If you experience it, then you know by experience. And you can't know otherwise. You can't read it in the book and say, I know what it's like. You can't have your mom and dad tell you and you know what it's like. No, you have to experience it for yourself. Or you don't know what it's like. You will never know. A few minutes, here comes these other 6 preachers walking up. I just tried to picture He said, if somebody will bring us some fish, we'll have a little practice. The Bible says, come and dine. You know what come and dine? Jesus said to him, come and dine. Come and dine means break your fast. See, because if you sleep like 8 hours a night, when you get up in the morning, you have fasted. Well, fasting means you don't eat. See? Spiritual fasting means you don't eat, but you pray while you're not eating. But when you sleep 8 hours a night, you've gone 8 hours without eating, so they call that a fast in the Bible, because you haven't eaten. And so when Jesus said, come and dine, he means come and break your fast. Now we put the word together, and what do we call it? Huh? That's right, breakfast. That's where we get the word breakfast from. Breakfast means you're breaking your fast. If it started another day, I can tell, just like she got up here and bragged about how she started hers. You didn't brag about yours, did you? Jesus said we'll break our fast if somebody brings some fish. Now here's the main part of the sermon. Now, can you imagine what's going through Peter's mind? Oh Lord. Dad used to say, tomorrow, boys, we want that section right over there. When I get home from work, just want that section taken care of. So us boys, if it just so happened Dad come in from work the next evening and that section wasn't taken care of, you talk about sweating. Boys, I looked at that section over there as I come in from work. What happened today? Now, can you imagine what Peter's doing? What's going through Peter's mind? It's interesting. Peter had denied the Lord 3 times. Remember that? In Pilate's hall, denied him 3 times. Now, it's interesting because Jesus is going to ask him how many times? Do you love me? Going to ask him how many times? 3 times. That's interesting. Jesus has never addressed Peter since he failed him. He's never addressed him publicly. Now, him and Peter had a private meeting, the Bible says, but the Bible does not say a word about what happened. And when you get to heaven, if your curiosity is up and you want to know about it, go up and ask Peter, what did Jesus say to you when just you and him met after the resurrection? So Peter's sitting here. And so they finish their eating. And Jesus looks across the little fire and he said, Peter, you mentioned what's coming. Peter, you love me. God, you love me. Peter said, Lord, you know I love you. That's interesting because in the Bible, there's 2 words for love. Our Bible just translates it love, L-O-V-E. But in John 3:16, there's a word, for God so... What? What's the word? For God so loved. That word for love, they're spelled this way if you were doing it in the original language. It's spelled this way. A-G-A-P-E. That means agape. Now it means to count very precious and be willing to sacrifice for. It demands a sacrifice. This kind of love. You cannot get it from your mommy. And you cannot get it from your daddy. And you cannot get it from your preacher. You cannot get it from any human being. The only person who has this love that can give it to you is G-O-D. Yes, amen. Now there's another word in the Bible for love, and it's spelled this way, P-H-I-L-E-O, Phileo. We got a little town up here in Pennsylvania that we stuck that word in. Anybody know what the town is? Philadelphia, that's right. It's Say to a brother in love. Now it's interesting when you read these two words in the Bible. For instance, John 3:16 is agape. For God so counted the world precious. That's what the word love means there. Now if you get down to verse 19 in the same 3rd chapter of John, it'll say this. Men love darkness rather than light because their deeds are evil. And the word for love there is Phileo, which means they like it. They're friends with it. They're glad darkness is coming. Now the Bible says they love that because their deeds are evil. Now listen to Peter and Jesus because they're going to use these two words, okay? And you'll see why the story comes out like it does. Listen to it. Peter, do you count me more precious than these? I don't know what he means by these. He may mean these fish. He may mean these preachers. He may mean, I don't know what these is. But he said, do you count me more precious than these? Peter said, Lord, you know I like you. Now listen to what he said. Feed my lambs. Do you know what feed means? Come right here a minute, baby. Are you a Christian? Now I want you to look at this now. I want you to look at this. If I come up and hug you in love, honey, do you like that? Yes, sir. No. Did you hear what she said? She didn't say no. Now listen to Jesus. Peter, do you count me precious? Lord, you know I like you. He says, I've got little orphans. Will you help me feed them instead of going fishing? Now, if this little girl ever makes a good Christian, Mom and Dad will have an awful lot to do with it. Because they will feed her. You know what feed means? It means they will give her the nutrients. They will give her the equivalence of what it takes to grow up and become a Christian like she ought to be. See, that's what Jesus means. I want you, thank you, honey, you're a good preacher. See, Jesus said, I want you to help me feed my lambs. Which means I want you to give them, if you have this love that I'm asking you about, Peter, I want you to give that kind of love to my lamb. I want you to give these kind of teachings to my lamb. I want you to give this kind of guidance to my lamb, and here you are out fishing. Were you saved when that boy got right? That boy yours, what did you say? Was it her? That boy that got up and sang? Oh, right here. Okay, I'm sorry. Were you saved when he got saved? When he got saved? Will y'all get the picture? Now, I don't know what moved him. I know it's God, but God can use a fish and get some people straightened out if you have to. He can use a rooster if you have to. He can use slingshot if you have to. God can use so I don't know what God used, but I have a feeling that Mama and them had a lot to do with it. Amen. Now listen, second time. Peter, you love me? Lord, you know I like you. Feed my, what's the next one? Not lambs, but it's stand up, buddy. Can you stand up? You can't stand up good, right? That's all right, you don't have to stand up. If I give you a hug right here, would you like somebody to hug you every once in a while, maybe your wife or one of your friends or something, just to hug you? He said, all my brothers. Do you know how much a hug is worth sometimes? Do you know? I mean, just to be able to walk up. How many here got grandkids somewhere? You don't know where they are probably, but anyway, you got. Now, when I went to church Sunday, how old's Miley Kate, honey? 3? Oh, not 3. See, I was inside the door, and was talking to people and everything. And my least granddaughter was with her mom and him. And when they come inside the church, she turned loose of mom and him, and she come running, and I was talking to people, and she come running and grabbed me right around my legs, oh, Papa, oh, Papa. I could have killed her right there. Do you know how much that means to me? Nobody else can, I don't care who else did it, it wouldn't mean to me what it did when that 3-year-old went up there. Now, I'm telling you, there's some people, and unless you get to the place where you can go hug them, it will never mean nothing for the other people to hug them. You're the only one. I remember my mama, she's going to be with Jesus now, but I can remember her now. And when I'd go, she'd go like this, boy. Bless this little fella's heart. I sure love you, boy. I just wanted to hell, Mama. You're the greatest woman that ever walked. I didn't tell her that, but that's what I thought. You're the greatest woman ever walked. She could make me feel like I was the king of the world. Do you know what love can do? Listen to Jesus. Do you love me, Peter? Do you have my love in your heart, Peter? If you do, would you help me give it to some lambs and sheep and so forth? Would you help me, Peter? You say, Jess, I don't know how to hug. Get your husband to teach you how. Amen. Hugging everybody else, he might well hug you. He can teach you how. Now the third time is real interesting. Listen to Jesus. And we just got the word love every time here. So you think, if you knew what it was when they wrote it in the original, you'd know the difference between one and the other. Now the third time, Jesus said, Peter, I don't think he even liked you. He used the same word Peter used. And the Bible says Peter got all upset. He just, Lord, you know all things. You know I like you. Really upset him when Jesus acted like, you don't have agape love for me. You just have a friendship love for me. Peter really got upset. Then when you read on down in the lesson, you find him saying this, and I had such wonderful hope. He said, Peter, the time's coming when you will let me lead you. When you get mature, you'll let me lead you, and you'll do what I want you to do. That was hope. That was hope. The word love here, my best translation of it is, do you count me precious? Do you count me precious? You read stories about mamas jumping in the water and getting drowned, trying to save them, going in a fire, trying to save them, doing all kinds of things. Now that is real love. Now the agape love has in it a demand for being responsible for certain things. Filial love just says, I like you, I'm glad you're going to take me to heaven when I die. And it's amazing how many people choose Peter's way of loving Jesus rather than loving Jesus the way he wants people to love him. Listen to the Bible, and I'm getting to a close. I'm too old to be preaching this long anyway. If you love me, keep my... Y'all know what it says. It It's all about love. Paul wrote a whole chapter in Corinthians. He said, I don't care if you talk languages they're talking in heaven. I don't care how many tongues you speak in or anything else. If it don't have this love mixed in it, when you use it, it ain't worth nothing. It ain't worth nothing. You can do your religion, but if it don't have this love mixed in it, I mean mixed in it. Right. If this love ain't in there, whatever it is you're doing, if you're singing a song and you're not doing it because of the love you have for Jesus, your song ain't worth no more than earning tongues saying walking the floor over you. It ain't worth. See, what Christians do ain't worth nothing without this love. Amen. You have to have this love mixed in it. And that's got to be the driving force in your life. If it's not the driving force in your life, then whatever you do is useless. Because God's not going to reward you when you're not moving at His command. See, He said, if you pray to be seen of man, I don't owe you anything. He said, you have your reward, which means you got what you prayed for. You wanted men to see you, and they saw you. That's all you get. Because that's why you were doing it. So Jesus said, when you pray, go in your closet and pray in secret. And your Father, who sees in what? Secret, will reward you. Well, I thought it's a secret. Ain't nobody can see it. A secret, if it's a secret, ain't nobody can know it. God can. God said, I want you praying just to be between me and you. Just between me and you. Because the word prayer has in it the ideal, here is an individual who is helpless talking to a superior who is God. I mean, even if you're heathen, they're counting this as a God. That's why when they pray to idols and everything else, they're putting, they think, I can't do it, so I'm putting this request up here. See, I'm putting it to an idol or whoever they're praying for. That's what the word pray is. It's you putting something before your God that you cannot do yourself. Well, is that enough preaching? Shake your head. Y'all know what I've been talking about? Here's my last little thing. I hope to say something to you. My dad was an old mountain man, coal miner, hard-headed. All he ever did to any of us kids was nod his head, and we knew to do shut up, get out, whatever it was you're supposed to be doing. You knew to move right then, and no question about it. My dad, he'd always say, I said, Dad, when are you going to give your heart to the Lord? I love you so much, Dad. When are you going to give your heart to the Lord? Well, he finally did. That's beside the point. Here's what I want to tell you. The first time that I ever talked to Dad about being saved, I was praying for him, and God said, you have never told him you love him. Them old mountain people didn't talk that way. I mean, I never heard him ever say to Mom, I love you, honey. I never heard Mom say it back then. I knew they loved one another, but they just didn't talk that way. And I was praying, and it's just, God, it's just like, I didn't hear no voice, but it's just like God said to him, you ain't never told him you love him. I got up from praying, and I said, I'm going to go tell him right now. So I got in my car, drove out, they lived in an old log house. Dad's sitting on the front porch in his old rocking chair. And I walked up to the porch and sat down on the edge of the porch. Sit down there, and I thought, how am I going to say this? I can't say this to Dad. I sat there for a few minutes. Dad said, oh, bud, That's what he'd always say. That's how he'd always, oh, bud. I'd hold Dad. All at once, I looked up at him and I said, Dad, I never have told you this, but I sure do love you, buddy. I sure do love you. First time in my life, I saw that old man's chin start to tremble. He looked at me and he was blinking his eye. He said, I love you too, boy. Boy, I know that must have been hard for him. I said, Dad, you know I want to see you saved. He said, I know it, son. I know it. A few weeks later, I'd taken him to the hospital to get a checkup, just a checkup. We was in the waiting room, me and him sitting there, we were talking about something. All at once, Dad just stopped talking. I looked at him. He said, son, said you prayed many a time for me, haven't you, to be saved. I said, Dad, you know I have. He said, I want to be saved right now. Oh, God, you're in the waiting room? I said, are you sure, Dad? He said, yes, I want to be saved right now. And he turned and got down on his knees. And I knelt beside him and put my arm around his neck and prayed. And he prayed. And he looked me in the face with tears. The first time I ever saw tears in Dad's eyes, because men didn't cry. I saw tears in his eyes. He said, I've trusted him, son. I've trusted him. He said, Jesse, I can't talk to my family. Go look them straight in the eye and say, I want you to know I've never said this to you like I'm saying it to you now. I love you with all my heart, and I want to take you to heaven with me because I don't want to go there without you. Amen. You say it won't make no difference. You're kidding yourself. Love made an old Roman soldier say, this was a righteous man here. Love will do that. Well, I'm going to quit preaching because I got to preach tomorrow night. Now, when a sermon has been preached, you should give an invitation. If this sermon said anything to you, you suggest, I don't want to join no church. Ain't nobody talking to you about joining no church. You don't need to join no church till you get right with God. We're talking to you about getting right with God. You say, can I do it on the way home? Probably. But I doubt if you will if you can't do it here and he's telling you to. That's right. If he's talking to you and wants you to come say something to him, you better come and say something to him. This may be the last time he ever speaks to you unless you want to respond and start doing it when he tells you to move. See, God's not kidding. Now, you may be joking about all this business, going to church and everything yourself, but God's not kidding you. So we're going to give an invitation. I don't know how you do the music. You going to sing a solo? Yeah, I'm kidding. No, all right. Here you go. Here you go, that boy. You can say. Now this boy's going to sing a song. Mark's going to be saying, any other preachers here to preach? And anybody else will stand up here and say, I'll be willing to help somebody if they want to come. Now, they're going to be sitting here. And this boy's going to sing a song. You about ready, buddy? All right. We make you feel bad, okay? You said, Jesse, what do I say to them? Say, Lord, what do you want me to do, Lord? You say, I know what he wants. You may not. You figured out. You just trying to figure out what you want to do. See, you say, what do you want me to do, Lord? and let him impress on your heart. So we're going to stand together now. And this young man's going to sing this song. And the preachers are going to be up here. If you need somebody to pray with you, they'll be glad to do that. We're going to sing about 2 or 3 lines or whatever here. And then we're waiting for you to come. You say, Jesse, you're going to have to sing longer than that before I can come. No, you can come. This altar is open here, waiting for you to come. You need to come. Be saved, come rededicate your life, come just to pray to God. Whatever you need to do, come while he sings this song, and we pray for you to come.
He is jealous